I really wanted to do that. Hey, I'm back. I'm sorry, it's been a while. I return, and as apologies, I'm gonna film a crap ton of videos right now for you, there viewer. I'm gonna review the books that I've read in my absence, and I am going to talk about them really briefly, and then if I want to do a full review of them, I am going to basically make a separate video, link to it, and then if you want a more in-depth discussion about that video, maybe with like a little spoiler section at the end, that's what I'm going to do. I'm only going to full review some of them though, because some of them you can't really do a full review of. So the books I read in my absence in order was Stoner by John Williams. I mentioned this on my channel and I mentioned that I was reading it, and I think I mentioned that I finished it, but yeah, I did really like this. It follows a man and his life. That's pretty much it. He was a university professor, and he started off as a university student at the same uni, and it's set in America, and it goes through like it goes through like 2 wars, I think. Yeah, it goes through like 2 wars. It goes through like the full span of his life, and I really liked it. And I really liked the ending as well, because essentially you do go through his entire life, and it's just really weird when it ends, because you feel like you know him, because you go through all the really little things that he went through, and it's just, that's, you know, it's quite overwhelming. And John Williams writes really mundane days really interestingly, because at some points I was like, nothing's even happening here, but this is really good. I really liked it. I can't remember what I gave it star rating, because it was quite a while ago. I think it was like 4 or 5 stars. Yeah, Stoner by John Williams. Then I devoured The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. The Night Circus follows these 2 magicians who have been essentially playing a magician game of chess, and they use these 2 people as pawns every time in this chess game to just kind of battle it out with each other. And this time, this generation of game, you follow a girl and a boy, and the girl is kind of like she has like a natural gift, and she kind of goes for the more kind of like doing way of learning, and then he kind of follows it to the book type of learning. And you know, so they have their very different techniques, and I really liked it. I thought the story was very original. It does kind of flow like a YA novel, but I still liked it. I am not a massive fan of YA. I don't have anything against it, it's just something that I just really can't usually get into, but did like this. I don't even know if it's classed as YA, but it is written like it. The characters were very cool. The different parts of the circus I thoroughly enjoyed learning about, because they're very imaginative and unique. I've never heard anything like some of the different tents that they both kind of set up. Really liked it. I really liked the chapters where you follow this boy as well. There's a boy that you follow, and I really like the chapters with him, because he's just kind of a person who is a fan of the circus, and I really liked him, and I really liked his chapters. And yeah, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, really liked this one, but I'm not going to do a full review because I think I've pretty much said everything that I thought about that book here, so that's The Night Circus. Then I read Casino Royale by Ian Fleming, and as you probably all know, Casino Royale is I've moved books around a lot, stop doing that. James Bond is a James Bond book. It's the first James Bond book that was written by Ian Fleming, and it's the first James Bond book that I've ever read, and I really liked it. I'm glad that I didn't remember the film, because I watched the film like kind of in the background when I was quite young. Like, I bet I don't remember anything, so I'm really glad that I went into this with a fresh mind, because otherwise it would kind of not really ruined it, but you know, I'm glad that I did go into this with a fresh mind. It's basically James Bond has to play a game of poker, but in this it's not a game of poker, it's a game of, I forgot what it's called, is it like 21? So you have to make the numbers, no, it's like 21 but you have to make the numbers 9. I've never played it, I can't say the word, it tells you what it is, but essentially I actually learned how to play the game with this book, and that was something I actually was worried about going into this, that I wouldn't understand, like, because I don't know card games or casinos or gambling, I don't know how it works, and I thought I'm not going to understand this, and kudos to Ian Fleming, so I understood every word of this book. And you know, I learned how to play a game from it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was really good. It was really action-packed. It was really short. I read it on the train, like just train journeys to and fro. Very kind of, I devoured it. I really liked it, you know. Woo! Good old action book, this, and I really like the cover as well. It's really simple. It's the vintage classics edition, and they're all like this. They all have the title and like a really simple design on them. Really like it, yeah. Then I read Gone Girl by Gillian or Gillian Flynn, I'm not sure, but regardless, I really liked this book, and this is one of the books I'm going to be doing a full review on. So if you want that, click here. And if you just want a quick summary, because you haven't maybe read it yet, or you don't really want to, or whatever, quick summary, it is basically about a man called Nick, whose wife disappears on their 5th anniversary, and it's about him trying to find her, and about the general public trying to find her, and also, you know, Nick's a bit of a suspect, and it's about him kind of dealing with finding his wife and dealing about being a suspect, and how that all kind of goes, and it's so good, and I really liked it. I am so excited for the film, because I read this essentially because it was David Fincher. It's going to be made into a David Fincher movie, and I am a huge fan of David Fincher. Had to read the book, and yes, read this book. If you like thrillers, read this book, and then go see the movie, because that's what I'm doing. The trailer for the movie's come out, by the way. Go watch that. That's on the internet. That was my laptop making that noise. And then the last book that I read, which I finished yesterday, and is literally the reason I'm recording this video right now, because I just really needed to talk about it. Life of Pi by Yann Martel. I think this is the favourite. I think this is the favourite out of the books I just read, because I really liked this. Now I know I went into this and I've seen the movie. I saw the movie like 2 years ago. It wasn't really fresh in my mind. I've said that so much in this video, fresh in my mind, but it wasn't fresh in my mind. I saw the film when it came out in cinemas, and I went into the book not really expecting much, because I was like, well, it's not going to be as visually stunning as the film, so I don't care. And then I heard loads of really bad reviews of how pretentious it was, and how it was all just like big life stories and blah blah blah. And I read it, and there are a bit of some pretentious bits, but it's so good, and I'm going to do a full review. So click on that beautiful cover. It's the movie cover, but who cares? It's got a beautiful tiger on it. Can't really complain. Click on here for the full review, and I'm just gonna quickly sum it up. Boy, boat, tiger. You probably know the plot. A boat sinks when an Indian boy is transferring his family, I was gonna say circus then, family zoo to Canada. And it's essentially about how he survives for like 227 days in the sea on a lifeboat with a tiger. I actually cried at this book, especially at the ending, and I'll explain in the other video why I cried and everything. And I cried at the movie as well, but at separate parts I cried from the movie to the book. But yeah, I really liked it. I really liked the companionship and the survival and just all the stuff that it talked about. Thought it did it really well, and I have no qualms with this book. I don't understand why people didn't like it. Like, thoroughly enjoyed this. I feel like I was liking it, I was loving it, then it was one of my favourites. Like, and that's how it went for me. It just got better and better as the book went along. Yeah. If you want to know more about this book and why I liked it, because I feel like it gets so much crap. So if you want to actually hear like a positive review of this book, click here. And that was a really long video. I feel like it was anyway. So yeah, if you want to know more about Gone Girl or Life of Pi, I will leave links also in that bit, because, you know, some people might be watching this on the phone and they won't be able to click on video annotations. The sun's gone in. That was it. I'm rambling a bit now. So I'm going to do a few more videos after this, and I'm going to review these books like right now.